Hi, Mercy. This is Sandra from Trio. We're just waiting a few more minutes, maybe like 3 more minutes, to see if anybody else joins, and then we'll get started with your questions. Hmm. Hey, Leah.
Sorry.
It's fine. The person that was there disconnected, but what I'll do is I'll go through it fairly quickly because it is shared on YouTube and on social media live. So we'll have this recording as well to send it
Okay.
out to those that missed it. But um, if you need to disconnect, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
I'll just do the recording. So, all right. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. The purpose of today is to answer questions regarding the FAFSA and overall how to pay for college. We will be talking about the FAFSA specifically and then about scholarship opportunities. So here we'll be exploring the options. We'll answer questions such as what types of financial aid are out there, where you can find the aid, when you should start applying for it, and how to navigate the entire process, because I know that it can get confusing at times. So we'll start with the first type of aid, which is federal financial aid. I always like to categorize them with like federal, then state, college level, and then scholarships by private entities. So right now we'll start with the federal financial aid, which includes grants, federal loans, and then work study. So what grants are, that's what it's known as the Pell Grant. That's the free money that you do not have to pay back. Then loans, that's money that you do have to pay back. For the loans, you can get part of a partial amount or the whole amount, but whatever you get, you do have to pay back with interest. And then the other one is work study. That's where you can work on campus with a part-time job, which a lot of times is minimum wage. And then you can also do homework there, for example, if there's no task given to you. So it's a good way to still be engaged in your studies, but be able to earn some extra money. So who can get federal financial aid? Any U.S. resident or permanent resident, you have to have graduated from high school or be a senior that's about to graduate, be eligible for a certificate or degree, have a social security number, and if you've been to college before, then you have to be in satisfactory academic progress. That means that your grades are decent and that you're at a good pace to earn your credits. And we can go into detail with that when we meet one-on-one if you have questions regarding that. So how much federal financial aid can I get? This one, the FAFSA has a complicated formula for it. They look into the student aid index, which is based on the information you input in the FAFSA, which includes household, taxes, which is the income, and so on. And then it also depends on the cost of attendance, which is how much that particular college cost, which includes tuition, fees, room and board, and so on. For the Pell Grant, you can get up to $7,395, and that's for this year. And you have to reapply for the FAFSA each year. And then for the loans, the first year you can get up to $5,500. And then with the work study, it varies depending on the job availability at the college. Now, for the Pell Grant, you could get up to that amount, but you could also get less or you could get nothing. So the biggest thing here is that even if you think you don't qualify, go ahead and apply, because you might be surprised and you might be able to get something. So how do I apply? How do I apply for the FAFSA? This year, the FAFSA opened December 31st, or I should say last year, for this year, for the 2024-2025 school year. The FAFSA opened on December 31st of 2023. Usually it opens in October, but this year it opened in December 31st because of new changes that they made to the FAFSA. I won't go into all of the details regarding the FAFSA, but all the changes, but I will mention some of them. So now the FAFSA is a little bit shorter. It's less questions. Parents and students have to log in separately to complete their respective sections. And then both parents need their own login information, which is their FSA ID. We've seen that the FSA IDs are getting processed fairly quickly, like verified, but we do suggest that you get them done a few days before you try to complete the FAFSA, and that way you'll make sure that you don't have to wait extra time or it messes up your day of completing the FAFSA. Now they look more into your assets, and they no longer look at untaxed income. And then you can list up to 20 colleges. So if you're undecided and thinking about different colleges, you can do up to 20. And then one thing to note here is that they look at unusual circumstances and professional judgment, meaning that if you have like a special case, which that can mean a lot of things, but if you're like, I don't know if I'll qualify for the FAFSA, or if you're a young student that might need to provide your parents' information, but you don't have it, then there's ways now to complete it. So you just have to go ahead and fill it out, and then you'll work with the financial aid person at the college to see if they can take a look at your specific situation and be able to grant you financial aid. Miss Mercy Jones, we are going over the FAFSA in general information, but feel free to stop us if you have any questions. This is more like an open Q&A. I'm sharing some information regarding the FAFSA. We talked about how much money you can get, as well as the loans and the work study. So if you have any questions regarding that, just let me know and I can go back. So the FAFSA sections and the documents that you need for the students is basic, what colleges you want to go to, birthday, social, if you work, then the tax information and so on. For parents is the same, plus their financial information. If you're married, if you're an adult and married, then they'll ask you for your spouse's information as well, including their tax information. The biggest thing the biggest takeaway from this section is that you have to create the FSA ID to log into the FAFSA. You need your 2022 taxes because they do 2 years prior. So it's 2022 taxes. You'll need your social security number, a list of your assets, your list of colleges, and then make sure that you have a working email because you need it to create the FSA ID and to log in. So what do I do after completing the FAFSA? Once you complete the FAFSA, and let me just stop here for a second and say that if you need help completing the FAFSA, then that's where the TRIO programs come in. We can sit down with you and literally go step by step with you to complete the FAFSA. So just let us know. You can book an appointment with us. Leah's here. She'll be happy to complete the FAFSA with you as well. So once that's completed, you want to check that all the contact information is correct, that all the financial and everything else is correct. And if there's mistakes, make sure that you update them as soon as you can and turn it back in. After that, you have to keep an eye out on emails and letters from the colleges that you're considering, because what they'll do is once they process the FAFSA, they'll send you a financial aid award letter. And what that means is that they'll let you know how much money they can offer you, which is the Pell Grant, the loans, and if you qualify for a work study, they'll let you know this is your package, and then from there you have to go in and accept or decline. Another thing really important is that they might also reach out asking for additional documentation. So it's important that you keep an eye on it, because the sooner you turn in that paperwork, the better. You don't want to, be waiting, and then once school comes around, they tell you that there's additional documentation, and then you miss out on the financial aid. So make sure you're always on top of that. For loans, if you decide to take out loans, there's 2 forms that you have to complete, which is the loan counseling form, and that's more like a training that talks to you about loans so that you're aware about what you're getting yourself into. And then the master promissory note, which is basically an agreement or a contract saying that you agree to pay the money back. So if you don't complete those 2 forms, then you don't get the money for the loans. And same at TRIO, we can help you complete that application and those 2 forms. And then with work study, you could check with your college about job opportunities and then apply through them to be able to find that job and get paid while you're in school. So the next part, I'll pause here and see if Miss Mercy, you have any questions or and if not, I'll move on to the second part, which is scholarships. We just got done talking about the FAFSA, including the Pell Grant, which is up to $7,395. The loans, which the first year you can get up to 5,500, and then work study, which varies.
Yeah. Thank you for this opportunity uh, for uh, for clarity. I just wanted to also ask, do FAFSA check your bank account?
No, they won't check your bank account, but you have to be as truthful as possible and as close to reporting the amounts that you have. That's where they ask for the assets. They'll usually ask like how much you have in your savings and in investment or properties. That's where you put it on there. But I don't believe they'll actually go into your bank account or have access to that.
Okay. So after college, what frame of time do they expect you to pay off your money?
Like the loans? Yeah,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
that's a good question. So if you decide to take out loans, they have what's called grace period, which is 6 months. So 6 months after you graduate, you'll have to start paying that money back.
Okay.
And then some loans, just to throw it out there, some loans are subsidized while others are unsubsidized. And what that means is that subsidized, the government will pay for interest while you're in school. So when you graduate, the only money you have to pay is what you borrow back. But if you get unsubsidized loans, interest will be accumulating while you're in school. So by the time you have to pay them back, you'll have to pay the loans plus interest.
Mm.
And just to kind of highlight, they will not necessarily check into your bank account, but at the beginning of the FAFSA application, they will ask you to allow them to connect your tax return to the application, and you have to agree to that. If you don't agree to that, then you won't be eligible for any of their awards. But that's your tax return, not your bank account. So I just wanted to throw that up there.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, Leah, because yes, you'll have to accept, and they actually get the tax information from the IRS. So it alleviates the hardship of putting it by hand and potentially being wrong. It just like auto populates, just pulls everything from the IRS and puts it on the FAFSA application. In this case, it will be for your 2022 taxes.
All right. I want to ask, when do I apply for 2025?
So right now, the FAFSA that's opened is for the 2024-2025 school year. So that means it will cover this fall and then the spring of 2025. So you can actually complete this FAFSA and it will cover the spring semester of your 2025.
Yeah, okay.
And then at the end, if we can give you Miss Leah's contact info, and you can set up an appointment with her to go ahead and complete the FAFSA.
All right.
Sorry about that. Any other questions?
No, thank you.
Okay. The next
Yeah,
part
just the contact. If I can get the contact.
Yes, Miss Leah, can you put that on the chat, please?
I sure will.
and this next part, Miss Marcy, will be regarding the scholarships. You're more than welcome to stay, or if you just wanted to hear about the FAFSA, then that's fine as well. But I'll go ahead and continue this part regarding the scholarships, which I separate into 3 categories, which are by state, which is the scholarships offered by Arkansas, educational, which is by the colleges, and then the scholarships by private entities like businesses or programs or organizations. So for the scholarships, there's 2 categories usually. It's merit-based, which is they look at your academic performance, your talents, your leadership abilities. If you've done community service, they look at all that. Where need-based, they strictly look at the scholarship, at the family financial status. So the less the family makes, the more likely they are to get money. So that's the 2 differences on most scholarships. And some of them ask for a combination of both. They look at your financial need, and then they also look at your grades and talents and so on. So it really depends on the scholarship. So the state of Arkansas has the Arkansas Lottery, which is used to fund the scholarships that they offer. The most common one is the academic challenge, which they also call it the lottery scholarship. That one is $14,000 over 4 years. So the first year you get $1,000, second year is $4,000, third year is $4,000, and then the last year is $5,000. So it really does help with the paying college. And then the AR.
So is that I'm sorry for stopping you. Is that are you talking about scholarship?
Yes.
All
yes.
right.
This one's right here are scholarships offered by the state.
So on this scholarship, you don't have to pay back.
No, the scholarships, and that's a good question. The scholarships, you do not have to pay them back.
So if you get the scholarship, you'll be able to use it to pay back the FAFSA?
Well, the scholarships, they'll be used to pay the other parts of your college cost, because the FAFSA loan a lot of times doesn't cover the cost for the college.
All right.
And the Arkansas Lottery, it will give you only $1,000 the first year. So you use that $1,000 plus what the FAFSA gave you combined to pay for the college tuition or room and board. And if you have money left over, you can use that for like books or other school related materials.
Right.
And then the Arkansas Lottery also offers the AR Future. A lot of students don't know about this one, but with the AR Future, they cover the tuition and fees completely for careers that are highly needed in the state of Arkansas. So those that are fields such as it could be in the medical field, or like, for example, one of my cousins is going to be a technician, an automotive technician, and they consider that career to be of high need here in Arkansas. So what they do is cover the tuition and fees for the college. So it's a really great scholarship. This one is for technical schools, so it covers up to 2 years. The only downside to this one is that if you don't finish out the 2 years or the certificate, then it turns into a loan. So you just have to be careful that if you decide to accept it, it'll be great, but you have to finish out. And then the other level, so we talked about state level. Now, the next level is colleges and universities. Colleges offer scholarships. Each one is different. Each college has their own amounts and types of scholarships. For example, UALR has a huge selection of scholarships that they offer. They just rolled out the Trojan Pathway and that Trojan Guarantee, which pays a big chunk of the tuition. And on the other hand, for example, Pulaski Tech offers less scholarships, but they are a little bit cheaper. So each college has their own scholarships, and the majority of them look at the merit base, and or a combination, which the merit base, like we said, they look at your grades, so your ACT, your GPA, and then they look at your financial need, seeing how much money you actually need. So some colleges require you to complete a separate application, while others automatically consider you for the scholarship when you complete the college admissions application. One thing to note on here that I often get asked is if you receive a scholarship, for example, from UAPB, and then you decide to go to UALR, you cannot use the UAPB scholarship at UALR. So if you receive the scholarship from that college, you have to use it. You have to go to that college to actually get the scholarship.
Right.
So the last level, I guess, per se, of scholarships is businesses, programs, and organizations. So for this ones, I get a lot of questions asked, which I'll go over them. But you'll see why a lot of the answers for this is like, it depends. So I'll get into that in a second. But these scholarships are often based in like, they could look at community service, or if you're in specific programs, sometimes they look at your religious background, or if you have a disability, or you have a talent, or ethnic background. So it really depends. So for example, the LULAC scholarship, that's geared towards Hispanic students, while the single parent, that's geared towards single parents, and so on. So it just really depends. There's some for left-handers and those that are cancer survivors. So it really does depend on each scholarship and who they want to give it to. So where to start with looking for scholarships? You can start looking at the financial aid office at the college and asking them like, hey, are they additional scholarships available for me, since I'm thinking about your college? And then they'll probably offer you the scholarships that the college offers. And then they'll also offer you colleges from the community, or give you a list of those, because they'll more likely know about them. Also, if they're a high schooler, then with their counselor, they can get information. Also check in on the social medias of communities, organizations, and foundations. A lot of times they give out, like Thea Foundation, 100 Black Men, they give out, like I said, the LULAC one. They give out scholarships. Sometimes the sororities or those Greek organizations, they give out scholarships too. Some of the places we suggest that you look for scholarships, it's scholarships.com, FastWeb, goingmerry.com. Those are pretty trusted sites to go and look for scholarships. And we also, Trio has their own mobile app where you can download the app and you'll find a huge list of scholarships that we put together for you. So feel free at the end of this to download the app. It's EOC at LR. And under the documents section, you'll find a lot of scholarship search engines, as well as list of scholarships that you can apply to.
Please, ma'am, can you come again? TLC?
Right here, it's EOC at LR. I don't know if you can see the mouse where I'm pointing at it.
All right, yeah.
Yeah. And if you just look it up on the Apple Store or the Google Play, like that, EOC at LR, you'll be able to download the app. And we have a lot of resources there, details about college and career access, those tools, and then scholarships too. So when to apply for scholarships? Scholarships are available year round. The best time to apply I would say it's now, the earlier the better. But right now, if you haven't applied to scholarships, I would suggest that you start too quickly, because as you can see on the graph, a lot of the scholarship deadlines are in February, March, and April. So they're coming out and they're also due. So if you're looking into college scholarships or the Arkansas Lottery or any private ones, you want to go ahead and start applying to them, because they'll be due pretty soon. So make sure you start looking into those. So one thing that I wanted to mention before the end is that when people, those questions that I said, that where I said it depends, right? So whenever
Right.
they said, where can I look for scholarships? When do I apply? What are the requirements? Do I qualify? You know, all those questions, I say it depends, because I could wake up tomorrow and say, I want to give out scholarship and I want them to be left-handers that are females wanting to go into STEM. So I can come up with my own rules and then give out the scholarship. And I can say, I want the application to open in January and close in March, and only students wanting to go to Arkansas schools can apply, and they have to have a certain GPA and community service and so on. You get the point. Like, I can create my own requirements and rules and deadlines for people to apply. So that's why a lot of those questions of when, where, how, all that, it really depends on the scholarship. So the best way to go about these scholarships is, first, look for the scholarships at any of these websites or the mobile app. And then when you look at the scholarship, you click on it to look at two things. One, the deadline, and two, the requirements. So if you have at least 2 weeks to apply for it and turn it in, and then you meet all the requirements, then go for it and apply. But if it's due in 2 days, 3 days, all you're going to do is stress yourself out, because you're more likely need transcripts, letters of recommendation, and so on. So you'll be pretty disappointed and stressed out, and you'll probably not meet the deadline because of the essays too. So just make sure you have enough time to apply for it, and that you meet all the requirements. So it will tell you if you need to be in a certain grade, if you need to have a certain talent, so on. So, and with that, do you have any other additional questions, Miss Mercy?
No, I don't think.
Okay. Well, you have Miss Leah's phone number. If once you're ready to complete the FAFSA, let us know and we'll be happy to help you. Also, if you need help completing the college application, we can sit down and fill it out with you, and we can help you turn in all the documents, and then we can also excuse my dog and we can also give you application fee waivers, which if a college is charging you a certain amount to apply to their college, then we can waive that, so it'll be free for you to apply.
Right. Where is Leah's office?
I am at 5820 Astor Avenue. And that is, we're in suite 800. I can write that in the chat as well.
Is it in URR?
Yes, it's in the University Plaza Shopping Center. It's
All
not.
right. Yeah, I've been there, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're in suite 800 next to the campus police.
Yeah. Okay.
And I also, my number, you can get me in my office. If you are more comfortable texting or emailing, you can use my mobile.
Yeah, I think that would be great for me to text, or is it the number that was on the phone here?
Yes, it's 519-7428. Can you see that under the chat?
Yeah, I have it here.
Okay. That's me.
All right, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Absolutely.
Well, Ms. Mercy, we
Maybe-
appreciate
maybe
you
I'm-
connecting and hopefully we're able to answer your questions.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm so excited, to meet with both of you, because I've been thinking of, how I'm gonna do about it. Yeah, but now I'm grateful. I have people that can help.
That's what we're here for.
Yes. Then
Even if you only have questions, don't, feel free to call and ask. That's what we do. So.
All right, ma'am.
all right. Well, you ladies have a good night. We hope to see you soon, Miss Mercy.
Yeah, thank you. I'll be there. Probably I will check later tomorrow.
Great.